Hi, Mukul. Congratulations once again and hearty wishes. I had prepared a bit of this materials of this talk, so I thought I would record it while it is still fresh in my memory. So today's event, the Upanayanam, is for doing the Brahma Upadesam of the Gayathri Mantra, which is performed during Sandhya Vandanam. There is a big mouthful of words, and coming from language research, I was hoping to deconstruct each one of these words that better guide us to understand why we have these rituals and processes. The prefix upa means near, and ni means to guide. Anam makes it a noun suffix. Upanayanam means to go near a guru, in your case, your father, who will lead and guide you. But why do we need to be led anywhere? Because when we grow, we mostly grow helplessly and only under the guidance of our parents. But at some point, we have to get out of the animalistic instincts of the way that we behave, doing only the things that we may prefer to do and not to do, and align ourselves towards a more cultured life of doing what we ought to do. And we do not avoid what we dislike, but we avoid what is wrong. And at this point, then the question comes, how do you decide what is right and what is wrong? And that is why we have what is called the Vedas. The Vedas come from the root word vid, means to know. Vedas means knowledge. And the ancient saints and rishis, seers, have codified this all. And there are three main Vedas, Yajur Veda, Rig Veda, and Sama Veda. And the three threads symbolize this, that you are making a promise that you will live your life bounded by the scriptures, the Vedas. Think of this as the Hogwarts initiation ceremony, where there's the hat sorting and everything, and you get assigned to a particular house. The word Brahma Upatesham, the Brahma also means knowledge, knowledge of the whole thing. And Upadesham, again, you will notice the same prefix upa, that means near, and desham comes from the root disha, means show the right way, show the direction. And once again, it is the guru who is going to show you the direction. As your Coimbatore Tata also beautifully mentioned today about the root of the word Gayatri Mantra, but before I will define the mantra itself, Mananat Trayate iti mantraha. A mantra is one that protects the person who chants it. And when it's extended to Gayatri, Gayantam Trayate iti Gayatri. Gayatri is the one who protects whoever chants her. And that is the meaning of the literal meaning of the word Gayatri Mantra. And we'll go a little bit more deeper into that. But before that, one more thing I want to add here is the whole thing is supposed to be performed during the process of Sandhya Vandanam. Vandana means worship. It's a daily ritual, supposed to do 3 times. The word Sandhya is the name of a goddess, Sandhya Devi. It is to her that we are praying. And it comes from the root word Sandhi. Sandhi means join. How do you define the 3 times that you do? Where night joins with the day, that is the dawn. Where forenoon joins with the afternoon, that's the noon. And where day joins with the night, that's the dusk. So that's one way of looking at it. But the other deeper meaning of the word Sandhi is to join our lower self to the higher inner spiritual ideal self. If you notice, the word yoga has a root word yuj, which means to yoke, to join. Again, it has a deeper implication of a lower self joining with a higher self. The word religion also is Latin for religare. Liga is where the word ligament comes from, and it is also supposed to unite one lower self with a higher self. So now let us look at the meaning of the Gayatri Mantra, and that we can understand what we are chanting and why we are chanting. The Gayatri Mantra is a prayer, and it is also a meter, and it is also a goddess, all rolled into one. So we are using the meter to compose the prayer, to pray to the goddess Gayathri. The Gayathri mantra has 24 syllables in it, and it is split into 3 phrases. Each phrase has 8 characters. And while you are doing your Sandhya Vandanam or even during today's rituals, you would have heard the word Gayatri Chandas, and you are declaring this is what the meter is in. For example, Shakespeare's plays are an iambic pentameter. And the Iliad and Odyssey is supposed to be in dactylic hexameter in Greek. And these are all the various meters people compose poetry, so it is easy to chant as well as to remember and memorize. Now we'll come to the main piece, the Gayatri mantra. So I'll first chant it the regular way. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. There are supposed to be 5 pauses. Om is the first one. Bhur Bhuvaswaha is the second. Tat Savitur Varenyam 3. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat 5. So I'm supposed to say it as 5 distinct breaks. The actual Gayatri Mantram is only the last 3 lines, and the first 2 are prefixes that are added. And I'll explain why. We start almost all mantras with the most auspicious primordial sound, Om. And it is the ultimate name of the God, the one universal God, which is called by different names and represented in different forms and shapes and time and places in whatever dimension you want to slice it. So that is Om. But this one Lord manifests 3 planes of existence, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, and Swaha. And think of this as like moving from a gross plane to more subtle and subtler planes. And this is just more intellectually understand it as a way of growing our intellects to raise to a higher level. Nothing about heaven or something that happens many, many years later, but something that happens in and through every single day. That brings us to the main Gayatri Mantra, the 3 lines. Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. The way we are saying it is in like a poetic form. So the words are organized to form the right meter and also rhyme very nicely. But if we were to split it, the individual words would look like this. Tat Savituhu Varenyam Bhargaha Devasya Dhimahi Yaha Naha Diyaha Prachodayat. Now that we know the individual words, we want to look at the meaning. And to look at the meaning, it helps to rearrange the words. In Sanskrit, this is called Anvaya. And when we rearrange the words, we get a running meaning of the Gayatri Mantra. So we start with the word actually Dhimahi. Dhi is the same root word for the word Dhyanam, meditation. Dhi means we meditate upon. Dhimahi, we meditate upon. We meditate upon what? Dhimahi tat. We meditate upon that. Which that? Dhimahi tat Bhargaha. Bhargaha means radiance, effulgence, purifying brilliance. But radiance and effulgence of what kind? Varenyam Bhargaha. Varenyam means a superlative, worthy of adoration, the highest kind. Dhimahi tat Varenyam Bhargaha. We meditate upon the highest adorable radiance, effulgence of what? Devasya. Devasya means a divine entity. But which divine entity? Savituhu Devasya. Savitra here is the sun god. And now you know why Savit is named Savit, because of the sun god. My SON is named after SUN. Dhimahi tat Varenyam Bhargaha Savituhu Devasya. We meditate upon the highest form of radiance, effulgence, and brilliance of the sun god. Why? Yaha so which Naha Diyaha, our intellects, Naha is our, Diyaha is our intellect, Prachodayad, inspires, enlivens, awakens, propels. These are all the different words for Prachodayad. So now if you were to chant the whole thing, Dhimahi tat varenyam bargaha savituhu devasya yaha naha diyaha prachodayat. We meditate upon the divine brilliance of the sun god that also illuminates and inspires our own intellects. A short story that we might have heard about, the genie and the magic lamp. The genie comes up and says, I'll give you 3 wishes. And people will generally ask for 3 wishes. At some point, we all wisen up and then say, here's my wish 1, here's my wish 2, and for my wish 3, I will ask for 3 more wishes. And the genie generally says, nice try, you cannot do a thing like that. There is no concept of a meta wish. But except, in this particular case, if you think about it, the Gayathri Mantra is a meta prayer. You are not asking for any particular thing, but you are asking for awakened higher form of intelligence. You are not asking what to think, but how to think correctly. So this is actually the wish that grants all the wishes, because it actually refines you as the wisher. That is the power of the Gayathri Mantra. And when we do the Gayathri Mantra Japa, there are multiple different ways. One, you can imagine the form of the Gayathri Devi. Another, you can imagine the sun god, the sun, the brilliance of the sun, the effulgence of the sun. You can contemplate on the meaning of the particular verse that I just mentioned. But above all, Japa generally means only the sound, just the sound. Om Bhur Bhavaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonav Prachodayat. Just this sound. You are supposed to contemplate and meditate only upon the sound. Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, of all the types of austerities and prayers and things that you can do, the japa is the highest form of prayer that you can do to me. It costs nothing, takes no effort, and it is completely cognitive. Anywhere you can sit in your mind's eye, if you can imagine and chant the mantra, there you are performing the highest prayer that anybody can ever pray. So now that we know what the Gayathri Mantra is, let's briefly look at a few reasons why we do the meditation. First, there is the whole science about that it calms you down because your parasympathetic nervous system gets triggered, which is very good for your body and for your mind. It helps you recover from anything. And if you have more questions, I redirect you to my favorite up-and-coming cognitive scientist, Kina. But the other thing is, this is a form of metacognition where you are thinking about thinking. And it's the only time when we do that, and all the other times we are only thinking about a lot of external things. The second way of prayer to think about it, it's an act of gratitude. There are a couple of verses in the Bhagavad Gita which I won't bore you with, but where Lord Krishna says, hey, I am the creator of all these things. Actually, what you think as the sun god, the sun's brilliance, the energy, light is also me. And it is through this light that I actually pervade all through the earth and provide for all the living things. So when we take upon the sun god as a symbol in which we impose this brilliance and Gayathri Devi to pray for, we are actually picking up the highest thing possible, because without the sun, the earth is not possible. Without earth, none of us lives are possible. So this is like a very big thanksgiving, a prayer of gratitude. The third thing is, when we are in this calm space and we are giving a thanks, we can do what is called value contemplation. There are like a lot of values, virtues that we are supposed to inculcate as part of this Sandhya Vandanam. And those are all the promises that we try to keep. And this is another thing that we can grow. And fourth and above all, in the current day of heavy distractions, busyness, social media and everything, attention is truly one of the superpowers. Attention and focus. So the Gayathri Mantra, by training you to say the same mantra and focus on that, makes it a concentration training. So I did not make all these advantages out of thin air. These are all deep disciplines in and by themselves. It's called relaxation meditation. expansion meditation, value meditation, and concentration meditation. That's like a very big topic on its own. These are all the benefits. But even without understanding all this, just having a gratitude and the faith, not even the faith, in this case, it's actually even science that it's because of the sun that we are alive. And as a thanksgiving, we say this prayer and focus on the sound, all the benefits happen. But beyond all the visible benefits that happen, we are internally actually only praying for the intellect to rise and be better. So it makes a better thinker, and then we know automatically do what to do in every different situation. That brings me to wrap up this thing, where if you notice that we had used the word Brahma Upadesam, I said Brahma means knowledge, but Brahman also means the ultimate God. Just like how it's denoted by the word Om, it's also denoted by the word Brahman. Brahman comes from the root word Brah, means vast, infinite, that which cannot be even contemplated about, but we need to give a word. So just like we say something as infinity, and you can never define it by a number, you just say infinity, we say Brahman. And once you say Brahman, you can add, just like how you added Varenyam, when you add Brahmanyam, you make it a noun, ness, it becomes the ness. You have Mukul ness. Nobody can else have that. Similarly, this is Brahman-ness. And in Sanskrit, there is a prefix su, which adds beauty and auspiciousness to it. It makes it a superlative. And that, if you put together, is where you get the word Subrahmanyam, which is your Tata's name. So you have both the Tatas with similar names, which is also the Lord name of Lord Muruga, who is also supposed to be the embodiment of the word Om. And it is said that he actually taught the meaning of the word Om to his father Shiva. Shiva, of course, knew, but he had to enact that once somebody teaches something very useful, they become the guru, and then the other person becomes a student, and they are supposed to receive the teaching with reverence and gratitude. So that kind of ties up the whole process of Upanayanam, Brahma Upadesam of the Gayathri Mantra to be done during the Sandhya Vandanam, the why, what, and bit of a how. So with that, I seek all the wise elders to bless you. Dirga Ayushman Bhava, may you live long. Medhavi Bhava, may your intellect shine even brighter. But to quote in the form of modern scriptures, Star Wars and Star Trek, may the force be with you. Long live and prosper. Om Tat Sat.